Hey, and welcome to an episode of the Roving Nothing Ventured podcast. We're here at the Dream Factory in Chance Street for the London Venture Capital Network drinks event. Looking forward to getting some hot mic'd, scandalous 3-minute bites from all the various guests that are turning up today. It's going to be a hot evening. Looking forward to it. Welcome to the roving edition of the Nothing Ventured podcast. Today, I'm really excited to have here in the room with me Dan Pandeni-Inhenga, who is an investor at 1818 Venture Capital and also the founder of the London Venture Capital Network. Dan, great to have you in the studio with me.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
No, awesome. So this is going to be a bit of a quick fire. So what was your first job?
My first job was an intern at a broadcast studio in Namibia called One Africa Television. So I was just kind of hanging around, learning from the video editors and going to do the news production a bit, stuff like that.
Amazing. Maybe you can join Jesse as as a future podcast editor if the venture capital thing doesn't work out. So, okay, that sounds really cool. And what were you doing immediately before you joined VC?
So I've been doing so many things that it's hard to really give a good answer, but I've done a lot of consulting, helping an angel investor with his portfolio. And then before that, I was doing my master's at King's. So I've really been all over the place.
And what do you reckon you'd be doing if you hadn't joined 1818?
I would certainly be still in the space of startup investment. So helping to consult or providing consulting services to startups or angel investors. That's something I've done a lot and I've really enjoyed that. But I felt like I wanted more of a structure. That's why I went into venture capital.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. And let's talk about 1818. So how many funds under management? What sort of stages, thesis, geographies? How large is the check size? Where do you guys invest? Give us a bit of a rundown.
Yeah, absolutely. So 1818, we basically focus on UK-based software companies. We like underrepresented founders, companies with a social purpose, but we don't run a traditional fund. We provide clients with two products. One is a venture portfolio where we kind of allocate your money into, different deals that come up over time. The second product is deal by deal. So if there's a specific company you like, you can choose to invest as much as you'd like into that deal.
So kind of like an SPV sort of.
Yeah, almost like a syndicate type of thing. So geographies are UK. We have about 50 million under management. Check size is usually 50,000 to 250,000 pounds.
Got it.
So we like to bet small, and then over time we will increase the check size for the future rounds. So yeah, sorry about my email notifications.
So always on the go. We know how venture works. So 50 to 250, but you follow on as well. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, amazing. Let's talk about the London Venture Capital Network. Obviously, we are here at Dream Factory, who are hosting the event or sponsoring the event alongside various others. So how did the idea for London Venture Capital Network arise? What drove you to kind of find it and found it? And where do you see it going, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the London Venture Capital Network rose out of a need to make venture capital accessible. It's a very difficult space to break into because it's quite small, it's unstandardized, and it's actually a spin out of an alumni angel network from King's College London.
Got it.
So our team decided we wanted to broaden our horizons and look beyond King's so that we can service all of London and the UK and potentially Europe, providing an easy way into VC by doing 4 key things. Number 1, we do public events. As you know, today we're at one of our events, right?
Yeah.
So we do public events, a VC fellowship where we train students to become analysts in venture capital, and then we also do a VC competition. And then the last thing we do is unique publications and research. So those 4 aspects together, we feel make a very nice combination. We're also going to be doing things like conferences and all sorts of great events to come soon.
Yeah, I mean, amazing, and definitely, one of the reasons that I launched the Nothing Ventured podcast was to kind of make venture more accessible. talk to people that kind of the ground floor building either firms as emerging managers or founders that have gone through kind of various rounds, and really kind of unpack some of the issues within venture, especially kind of accessibility, the problems around exclusivity, and the very sort of closed shop industry that it can be, and actually hopefully show that it can be a really open industry if people are willing to kind of put in the effort and just reach out and meet people. So let's talk about something slightly different, but if you were to pick three investments either inside or out of the 1818 portfolio that you're really excited about, what would those be?
Well, there's a few that come to mind. I mean, there's a deal I'm looking at right now. I think I don't know if I should say it, probably not.
If you haven't closed it, I wouldn't say it, yeah.
Yeah. So there's one that I'm thinking about. It's a fintech that's, it's actually, their office is around the corner, believe it or not. And let me just talk about the companies that I have put my own money into.
Sure.
So one of the companies I put my money into is called Ride Tandem. Mm-hmm. It's a really great company because it's providing accessibility to rural areas in the UK, in terms of it's providing access to transport, mm-hmm. so that people can get to work on time.
Well, especially given that HS2 is now kind of dying a death, is probably pretty useful.
100%. I mean, there's that, but really all over the UK, people don't have access to public transportation sometimes, or they need to buy a car, which is very expensive, and not everyone can afford that. So different types of approaches are really great. I kind of like companies that are addressing the cost of living crisis. There's all sorts of innovative companies in our portfolio, like MoonHub, mm-hmm. doing some really great stuff with VR. Mm-hmm. One of the only areas of VR to actually be used right now is training, and that's mm-hmm. what MoonHub is focused on. And I mean, there's another great company called Watch My Competitor that I invested into.
Okay.
So I put my own money into that company because they're actually, the way they're growing is really great. The terms we were able to get as a VC investing into that deal were really good. Mm-hmm. And the founder is really strong. So what more is there to say? Like, feel free to look them up if you're interested. They're all great companies.
For sure. Dan, thank you so much for joining me. For our audience, where can they find you online? You're on LinkedIn, you're on Twitter. Where's the best place for them to look for you?
Yeah, LinkedIn, Twitter. That's probably the best. Just follow me at Dan Idhenga on Twitter and on LinkedIn as well.
Amazing. Looking forward to the event. I think it's going to be a really, really good one.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thanks for joining me.